We're underway here in Telford. The winner of this match will play the winner of this evening's match. And that'll be a semi-final clash tomorrow. Tonight we have the two marks, Selby and Allen.
Yeah. Can you make sure that your earpieces aren't too loud, please?
And of course, we already have one semi-final lineup sorted, and that is John Higgins against Judd Trump.
It's still very, very loud, ladies and gentlemen. Could you please make sure that your commentary isn't too loud?
Shaun Murphy, 43 years of age. He was world champion in 2005. He was Masters champion as recently as last year, just over a year ago, in fact. As for this man, well, it was an extraordinary comeback, wasn't it? He was banned, of course, one of 10 players banned. He was formerly a UK champion, German Masters champion. After his enforced layoff as an amateur, he came right through the ranks from round one in the qualifiers and became world champion. Extraordinary how he did that. And he's a very attacking player. I think his match is going to be a bit of a squashbuckling affair. Of course, safety and tactical play will play a part, because that's the game of snooker. Without that, you're not anything. But in general, they're both off the front foot sort of players, taking their chances. Shaun Murphy takes the first red.
One.
It was quite interesting because before Xintong got back in the fold, he actually played in the UK Championship of 2024 as a sort of an invited player, top-up player if you like, because he'd done well in the Q2 events. And everyone knew that it would be a tough draw for whoever met him as a seed, and it was Murphy who beat him, actually. Only 6'5". And since then, Xintong has beaten him in the Riyadh Season Championship quarter-final. He won that, of course, Xintong.
5.
But they're the only two meetings since 2020. But as I say, a lot has happened since then. They're both generally very much informed players, I would say. Just a reminder of the Players' Championship, what it involves. It's actually for the 16 highest ranked players
12.
on the one-year ranking list. So your overall ranking is not the point here. In other words, Judd Trump is not the #1 seed. It was actually Neil Robertson, because he won in Saudi and picked up the big prize there.
30.
He's out. So that's the criteria for qualifying. It's all on this season's points. So what you're always going to get is an informed player, because they're all in form. Could have got into them there. Trying to pick off the lone red and open them that way. But this way he takes another red out. He might need to go into them again here or play on the loose one. It depends how he feels. But it's not, you would say, a substantial opportunity just yet. Until he gets the bunch of reds open, it will never be a frame-winning chance.
26. 27. 30. Shaun Murphy, 34. We can still hear the commentary, ladies and gentlemen. It's really loud, so if you could please, once again, make sure. I'm being told this from this area, so please just make sure that it's not too loud.
I suppose Murphy could have gone into the reds earlier than he did, off that blue, a few shots prior to the point where the break ended. But he chose to play on the loose one. It was an interesting choice, actually, when it was the perfect angle to open the reds. But usually he plays all the big attacking shots, let's be honest. Hard to argue otherwise. That is a very poor shot. It's not unlucky to hit the bump of the middle pocket. It's a poor shot. You're trying to hit about 12 inches in front of the middle pocket, and that shapes the cue ball in behind the green.
What?
And what he didn't want to do is exactly what he has done, leave this chance.
Eight. No. $16.
A chance has been presented to him. He was a long way behind, 5-2 against Elliot Slesser the other day in the previous round. He got a little bit lucky, actually. He fluked an outlandish blue. And Slesser was on the brink of beating him 6-2. But he did claim that because he'd flown back into the country, having just won in Hong Kong and spent some time, I think, back in China. And he was a little jet-lagged. He wasn't making excuses. He won the match. But he was a little fortunate to get over the line at 5-2 down. He looked lackluster and tired, and the cutting edge that we saw in Hong Kong was not there. But he got over the line anyway. Maybe a chance to regroup.
25.
He didn't play that well. He wanted to be just a little bit further up the table on the blue. Very solidly played, however. Good shot. Controlled.
30. 31.
Yeah, I mean, there are one or two areas across there where he's looking at, where he could get on that right-hand red of the three. But there's not a lot of room. So I think he's played on the other red. It's quite a good shot to finish on it. Steered it across the table. Well, that's not quite gone to plan. Just pushing that red across, and now it's an extremely thin cut and a very missable shot. I should think the cue ball will be heading back to bulk anyway from this. Oh, that's a terrific shot. That's a terrific shot. And what's good about it, not only the pot, but the fact that the cue ball has not ended up in bulk. Now it's finished where it is. It's very handy. Brown to two reds are quite good from here.
$51. 52.
Well, it's a very accomplished break so far. You will need the other red, however.
15.
Can't win it without that left-hand red, and that's going to be, well, the final piece of the jigsaw, if you like.
60.
Now, has he got an angle? I think so. A little straight, but not so much that he can't manoeuvre the cue ball across towards the red. $33 the difference. He didn't want to go around the back of it, of course. He played to just push it towards the right middle from that left cushion onwards. Now, I don't think he'll be going for this, so the break's ending. Well, it was a fine break, but not enough for him to take the frame. The last thing was to pop that red. Murphy trailing by 33 points. A red and a pink or black required here to win the frame directly. Goodness, he got close to it. He really did. But I don't know if he'd have been all that nicely on a high-value colour, even had he potted it. It's an interesting opening frame. To see which way it goes from here. Because it's a frame that Murphy will know that he could snatch. Well, has he left any of the red sticking out to pot it? It would be difficult, but for a little while I think he slightly got that wrong, that shot. No, he got it wrong all right. What a shot. It was not a great one from Murphy.
One. So Xintong, one.
Well, the brown would have absolutely won the frame without a shadow of a doubt. But now there's a couple of snookers, which means Murphy will try and play on, although you feel the damage might have already been done in this frame for him. He played that safety shot where he hit the bump of the middle pocket, which caused him the problems.
Five.
Well, there's one, and he'll need two, but there is one. What you don't want is the ball that your opponent's trying to hit to be too close to a cushion. Now, there is room to go around the back of this. I'm not suggesting he will, but if the brown's any further down, it becomes a big target. It's a 1 or 2 cushion sort of bigger area to hit. And that's my point. He didn't quite have that luxury of
Shaun Murphy.
the brown being further down, more than one sort of route onto it. So now it's down to one snooker. Of course, it keeps Murphy interested. I should think the snookering ball is likely to be the black, if one is possible. Well, there's a good way of putting your opponent under pressure. Get a snooker on him. So it's 2 snookers, but I think more relevant is that the brown is on. So if this goes in, there's no way back for Shaun Murphy in the opening frame. He got in first, has to be said. Didn't make enough.
Oh.
And I think already you can see that Zhao Xintong looks more acclimatised to being back in the UK after that terrific win in Hong Kong the weekend before last. He spent some time in Asia. And he is seemingly fully refreshed. It's only one frame, but he just looks sharper and more focused on the job.
You've seen.
And what a player he is. So, the opening frame had a few twists and turns in it. Shaun Murphy was in first. He played a poor safety shot. But it's the